all for being here to celebrate women and the women that are being honored today. The YWCA, as many of you know, is dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. So it's actually a really big contradiction that we're having this gathering today to celebrate women and these particular women and honoring the work and the thinking they've done for much of their lives. They've boldly moved society forward. That is true. And it's benefited all of us. I teach kindergarten through 8th grade, and I listen to girls all the time, and I know it's so important that we honor their thinking and the work that they've done, that is gonna help us all. And in particular, having these girls get to see older women being honored for the work they've done and their thinking, all the different kind of work, traditional women's work and non-traditional women's work. Secondly, what I want to say is not only is the Y committed to empowering women, but eliminating racism, and that the women's work can never really be done unless we do that work together, eliminating racism and empowering women. And yeah, we wouldn't be here today if that work hadn't been done together. So yeah, that's why many of us love the Y so much, the YWCA. And I'm the president of the board currently. And all right, I think that's all I want to say. And let us celebrate these 7 women, okay? All right. So I'm going to introduce Alicia. She is the mistress of ceremonies today, and yeah, development director of the YMCA, and she's on the board. All right, here you go.
Thanks, Kate, and welcome everyone today to this great celebration of women in our community. The contributions of yesterday, today, tomorrow, all are sitting in this room, and we are so grateful for the many gifts that you shared with our community. We're so lucky. We are so lucky to have so many strong leaders who are women in our community. What wonderful ways we contribute, each one of us. But today we take special pause to recognize some very special women who've made significant contributions in our community. Today, we'll share a meal together. We're going to listen to some fantastic music by Hathaways. They're going to be a lovely, lovely accompaniment to what I know is going to be a delicious meal prepared by the wonderful staff here at the I Hotel. I know that they've worked very hard on our meal, and I want to thank them as well. I know that I love being in the kitchen, but I do love to be served a good meal too. I also want to introduce the invocation for today's meal and for today's ceremonies. And if Dr. Reverend Evelyn Underwood could please come forward and provide a few inspiring words for us.
It's so great to be here, because I didn't have to be here. I could be at the hospital with my husband or someplace else, because I was so afraid last night, but God let him live, and he's doing better. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, Lord. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for the YWCA. Its courageous leadership of eliminating racism and empowering women. We thank you for the Women's Leadership Luncheon, where we are going to award these distinguished women, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this food that we are about to receive for the nourishment of our bodies. I feel in this atmosphere love, peace, and understanding. And we thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. And now we are going to be able to enjoy that wonderful meal, but we're going to rely on the staff of the iHotel to release our tables one at a time to go through the buffet line. And also at this time, I'd like to invite Hathaways to come and share their musical talents with us. Thanks so much, and I hope that you all enjoy both the music and the food. Thanks so much for being here. Going through the line. Gorgeous music, thank you. As you may have guessed, Kate and James are brother-sister duo, and their music is inspired by Peruvian Andes music, so we're very, very glad to have them here. It's a nice cultural experience on top of the wonderful leadership celebration. So without further ado, I do want to introduce our next speaker in the lineup. And she's going to share with us a little bit about her personal experience with women in leadership. And this is a program that the YW has been doing for quite some time now, and it's been very successful. And we would like to welcome Melissa Dong to the stage. Melissa?
I'm kind of short. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me here today. I would like to start out by discussing the reason that I decided to apply for a Women in Leadership program. As a woman who's of Asian descent and who was born and raised in the United States, I was quite privileged to grow up surrounded by people who were always supportive and not experience that much discrimination firsthand. Yet recently, I had a friend who opened a whole new way of looking at things, and she introduced me to feminism. I had heard the word used in a negative aspect, but peeling back perception, I found it to be something positive. With my newfound appreciation for being a woman, I also started to see problems everywhere I went. It's like the moment you see something and you can't unsee it. That was what I began to witness. The rape culture constantly being perpetuated on my college campus, what my role in society as a woman should be, and among other things. This was all very unsettling, but it's important to understand and acknowledge that there is a problem. So as someone who loves to learn new things, I wanted to know more about different issues that women face. Therefore, one day, walking into the YMCA, my friend and I saw the sign that said, applications for an internship with the YWCA, which was the Women in Leadership program. We both thought, wow, that sounds like such a wonderful opportunity. And one of the options was to intern with Four Walls and a Roof with Rachel Storm. It was an internship that would be dealing with a women's shelter in Ecuador, and I thought that it's something that I knew so little about. So that's why I'm here in front of you today. Reflecting on how the Women in Leadership program has impacted me, I almost get blown away. Sometimes you don't realize how much things mean to you until you take a step back. I have met and I'm working with some amazing women who are truly inspiring with their thoughts, jobs, and everyday work. For example, both Rachel and Dominique have been wonderful to talk to and have taught me so much about things such as professionalism and time management. They are supportive in the work that we've been doing and have given great critiques. We have actually been able to present a proposal in a professional setting, something similar to what I may have to do one day in a future career. It's like giving us real life experiences in a safer setting. I guess you could say getting our toes wet without actually having to jump in all the way. I've also valued working on a team with some pretty wonderful ladies. I think that everyone brings something different to the table, and you can learn from other people when given the opportunity to do so. One person in particular that I know will go far in life regards to women's issues is because you can see her passion. Every time she talks about it, you can see that she glows. When you're around people like that, you tend to feel inspired and happy. I've also loved all the group meetings that Dominique has put on for us. She makes a point to make sure that we discuss issues that we want to talk about, and she prepares great discussions. There's something comforting about having a group of people who you can go to where you know you have a place. Sometimes you can get lost in such a big university. In the end, if I had a choice to go through the internship again, I truly would. It is a unique and wonderful opportunity, and I really would like to end this by saying thank you to all the women I've met through this experience who have touched my life one way or another. You're all amazing and fabulous ladies. Thank you.
Well, I think you can see that Melissa's a wonderful and fabulous lady in her own right, and I know that she'll be doing great things in the future. I get to see Melissa a lot at the YMCA because I work there, and the YWCA has our offices in the upstairs of the YM, so it's a nice partnership. Next, I'd like to introduce our fearless leader, Leisha Banks, who's going to tell us about the YWCA's 130th Anniversary Challenge. You may not know that this is the 130th anniversary of the YWCA here at the University of Illinois. And we're a special Y. We really serve the university community. It's a special place, and we are the oldest university YWCA in the country. So we want to make sure that we pay special tribute to our history today. Leisha?
Thank you. And I can forgive Alicia for saying YMCA. She meant YWCA. Happens all the time. We get each other's mail. I do want to bring to your attention that this is, again, and emphasize that this is our 130th year on the University of Illinois campus. We are dedicated to women's empowerment and eliminating racism and developing the next generation of women leaders and being around for another 130 years. But in order to do that, of course, we need your support. So our 130-year challenge is we are trying to raise $130,000 for this special anniversary. And if you are inclined to do so, you have on your table a pledge card. You might take a look at it before you leave and hopefully fill it out and join with us and help us reach our goal. We really cannot do it without your help. So we appreciate any contribution you can make. The card suggests $130 in honor of our 130 years, but like I said, we'll take anything. But thank you very much, and please help us make our goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Leisha. As she said, a special gift of $130 would be wonderful. We'd love to have your support, and we hope that you'll take this special opportunity to consider how you might be able to support the YWCA's efforts for women in leadership. Also, if you have people that you know would be interested in our efforts, we would love to talk to them as well. So please do pass the word along. Next, we're going to enjoy, as we finish up our lovely meals, we're going to enjoy a little more music from Hathaway's. And I do want to mention that if you're enjoying their music, they do have CDs for sale today outside. So please do take advantage of that opportunity. And without further ado, Hathaway's.
On. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much for having us this lovely afternoon. My brother and I are thrilled to be here. A couple of you have asked about my instrument. This is called a charango. It is a mountain instrument from the Andes, originated in Bolivia and Peru. I've been playing this instrument for about 7 years. And I started studying at the University of Illinois, and I asked my mentor after a year of playing, should I go to Peru and play this instrument? And he said, well, you know, it's going to be really interesting because there's not really any female players in Peru. And he said, but I think you should go for it. And all of my mentors in Cusco, Peru, were just wonderful and really took me under their wing and taught me so many different traditional styles. And that's what we started off playing. But this next song we're going to play is one of our own compositions. This is my brother James, by the way. He has traveled to Peru with me many times. So this next composition is called Little Dove, and it's one of ours. And it's a little bit of fusion of our style, of our folk music that we write, blended with a little bit of our Peruvian rhythms that we've learned throughout the past couple of years. Thank you so much.
hate to break up all the wonderful conversations I'm sure you're enjoying. But I do want to make sure that we continue to move along in our program so that you can go out and do wonderful things again. But let's take some time to first honor the women that we've come together to honor today. Next, we'll have our special opportunity to present some awards to some women who've made some remarkable and very lasting contributions to our community. Is there someone that's going to pass the awards out with me? Yes, you. I'm looking around. Where's my Vanna?
I'm already, senior, right?
Our first very special award today is being given to a woman that has made some contributions in our community that have really touched lives in a very special way. Today, we're going to give out the YWCA Women in Leadership Award in Business. Today's award is being given to Tasha Thompson. Tasha is the author of Preparation for My Destiny, an autobiography telling her struggles growing up in foster care, being a teen parent and overcoming the odds. She is a motivational speaker that has traveled over the state of Illinois, encouraging young people to continue to strive for excellence, no matter what challenges they may face. A teen parent herself, Mrs. Thompson felt an obligation to reach back to her local community and assist teen parents in becoming successful adults and healthy parents to their children. Mrs. Thompson is the founder of the Goals Project, which is a local nonprofit organization that serves teen parents between the ages of 13 and 21. These young women are pregnant or parenting a child. And the program has 3 core components, and those are to empower through monthly workshops, inspire young moms with one-on-one mentoring, and motivating parents by providing support with their educational goals. Mrs. Thompson earned her Bachelor's of Arts degree with a minor in psychology from Eastern Illinois University. She works at Champaign County Public Health Department and runs the Goals Project. Mrs. Thompson is married to Derek Thompson for 14 years, and she's mother to 3 children herself, Kendrell, Destiny, and Isaiah. She indeed is a trailblazer with an undeniable passion for helping others achieve their own greatness. Thompson is committed to helping others and hopes that moms will learn from their experiences and hers as a teen parent and realize that they too can be successful and beat the odds. Please welcome Tasha Thompson, this year's YWCA Women in Leadership Award for Business.
Indeed, it is an honor to be here on today. I was very taken back when I got the phone call from Ms. Banks, because I think oftentimes when you have such a passion and a love for what you do, and to be recognized for it, it just caught me by surprise. So I am very thankful to the committee, the selection committee. I'm very thankful to those who nominated me. I'm thankful for the YWCA for this opportunity to be recognized. Just a little brief how I got to this point. In my biography, you guys heard, I was a teen parent myself, and I spent a short time in foster care. And I don't have a story of this terrible foster care experience. I was actually placed with State Representative Naomi Jacobson's home. And so consequently with that, the things that happened in my life, after I graduated and overcame some odds that I was told I wouldn't be able to overcome, I went on this quest for what is my purpose in life and what have I been called to do. And I began to pray and ask God, what is my purpose and what am I here for? I didn't want to merely exist here on earth. So that's how I came to writing my book. And in my book, I expose myself and everything about me with the hope and the desire to hopefully help someone else. And after I wrote the book, I was like, oh, okay, that was nice. I want to do more. And so then I began to get the vision for goals, which stands for going on against life struggles. And so my desire and everybody that helps me with goals, all the volunteers, all of the staff with goals, our desire is to empower teen parents to see beyond their current situation and move forward just like I did. So again today, I thank you all for this opportunity.
Next, I have a special honor of presenting an award to someone that I've known in a former role. Some of you may know I used to be at the School of Social Work as the Assistant Dean for Advancement there. And while I was there, I had the opportunity to meet with lots and lots of alums. This special woman has been an influence on the university campus for a long time and has made lots of wonderful contributions. And we can be proud to call her a University of Illinois alum. And she is a School of Social Work alum and has made many contributions to social work as a result. Next, I'd like to honor Pat Morey, the YWCA Women in Leadership Award in Education winner. Pat writes, I am the director of the Women's Resources Center and Assistant Dean of Students. I have a master's degree in social work from YWCA and recently completed a second master's degree in youth services librarianship. I'm a feminist and have been active in the anti-violence, peace, and social justice movements for over 40 years. I am an avid film buff and try to catch a film at the theater at least once a week. Favorite Chambana event? Ebert Fest, of course. I also love walking with the dogs, reading, and getting together with friends and family. Education has always been a huge part of my life. I believe in the power of knowledge. In both big and little ways, education has saved my life. We've been lucky to have Pat Morey on our campus for years, helping young women, fighting against violence in our community, and raising awareness of the many challenges that young women in our community and women of all ages face. Without further ado, Pat Morey, we love to honor you.
Thank you. I really want to dedicate my words today to my mom, Patricia O'Connor, gotta add that, Lawrence. And my mom is dying of cancer, and she is the one who has really on a daily basis inspired me to share with others and to be there for others. And she has dedicated her own life in that way. So today I honor her. She's an awesome woman. So thank you. And thank you all for this award. It really means a lot.
The fist pump. Next, we're going to present the YWCA Women in Leadership Award for Advocacy. Today's award is being given to Margie Skirvin. When Margie Skirvin attended Champaign schools as a girl, she had no idea that someday she would serve as the very first woman president of the Champaign School Board. She joined a national organization for women, NOW, chapter in college, and continued her involvement in that group over the years advocating for women's rights. For several years, she worked for state representatives and provided constituent services. When her children entered school, she joined PTA and advocated for children in the classroom, in the school district, and at the state level. She served on the Illinois PTA board for years, working to secure more stable school funding in Illinois and improve public schools. A federal consent decree was placed on the Champaign Unit 4 schools to improve education for African American students. And for 8 years, Margie worked tirelessly as a school board member to ensure the successful completion so that the educational needs of all Champaign school children were met. As a mother of a child in the Champaign School District, I want to say a special thank you. I know that it's been a very long and hard road for the Champaign School District, and my son feels welcome every day. He feels like he's part of a community, and he truly loves his school, which is a lot to say because he's a middle schooler. But I think through the leadership and the past leadership of our board, that they have helped to form a community that really does welcome children into their schools. And for that, I want to give a special thanks. Margie, please come forward to receive your award.
Well, thank you for the award. I really appreciate being nominated by Phyllis Klein. That was kind, and there are a lot of people in the room I've worked with over the years in different organizations. The one thing I wanted to mention today is the importance of encouraging other people to step up to leadership positions, because nobody is born being able to talk, to the media, or being able to chair meetings, or being able to, do the various things that the organizations need to be done. And so I was encouraged every step of the way by people who would help me. And I remember when I became the NOW chapter, Champaign NOW chapter president, I said, well, I can't talk to TV. Maybe Jen Anderson, who was the preceding president, could speak for me. And she agreed to do so, knowing full well that the media comes to an event and they don't say, well, I go talk to them, and they say, no, we want to talk to you. You're the president of the organization. So, but if I hadn't done that, then I wouldn't have been able to do other things, and I wouldn't have probably run for school board, and I certainly wouldn't have been the president of the school board, since the TV turned up at my house at least once a week for years. So, yeah, that's really what's important, is we need to support each other, encourage people to have leadership positions, and to, that's how you build your way up. It doesn't happen overnight. So thank you.
So maybe today is Pi Day. 3/14 for those that aren't aware of the actual date. It's a special honor to be able to give this science award on Pi Day. The YWCA Women in Leadership Award in Science this year is being given to Lois Steinberg. I know many people in this room have probably benefited from what Lois has brought to our community. Dr. Lois Steinberg is the director of and instructor at the BKS Iyengar Yoga Institute of Champaign-Urbana. She holds a rare advanced Junior 2 Iyengar Yoga teacher certificate. She has over 37 years of yoga study, practice, and teaching experience. Lois has studied extensively at the Iyengar Yoga Institute in Pune, India. I'm not sure if I said that right. In their general and medical classes is where she's been studying. And she is the author of numerous books herself, research articles, and manuals that are an essential reference for all teachers and serious practitioners. Her books include Gita S. Iyengar's Guide to a Woman's Yoga Practice, which I have. Iyengar Yoga Asana Alternatives, the Neck and Shoulders. Iyengar Yoga Cancer Book. Iyengar Yoga Asana Alternatives, the Low Back. Iyengar Yoga Asana Alternatives, the Knees. And Iyengar Yoga General Therapy. Looks like she's got something for just about everybody. Lois travels annually for 2 months study at the Ramamani, did I say that right? Ramamani, yes. Iyengar Memorial Yoga Institute in Pune, India. Lois's teaching is infused with enthusiasm to share the knowledge and acumen that have come through her sustained practice and study of the tremendous work of BKS Iyengar and his family. She strives to emphasize and amplify whole body transformation through the joy of regular immersion in practice. As a teacher, she is direct, dynamic, clear, focused, engaging, gently humorous, and an invaluable resource for understanding the healing potential of yoga. Lois, will you please come forward? We'd love to provide you with this special award.
Okay. First, one of my teachers here told me I should actually stand on my head and give you this speech, but I'm wearing a dress today, so I'm not going to do that. When I was growing up, I had 2 brothers and a mother without a father. And it was kind of like on the threshold of women's liberation then, but it was confusing because I felt always held back. I couldn't always do what my brothers did. Sometimes my mother would kind of fight for me. She'd, march out there with me and say, she can play baseball too. Or, but other times, I had to do all the cooking and cleaning and all the, usual typical tasks, or I was never encouraged, actually, in my educational pursuits. She had big plans for me to become a secretary. And that was useful. And I was also called bossy. And I just read something in the New York Times about this, this term of calling women or young girls bossy. I don't know if you've read that, but it's more correct now to say, oh, my daughter has executive management skills. So, and I never thought these skills would, bring me to this point today. And thank you, Kate, actually, for nominating me. I was really stunned, speechless. And I'm also wanting to take another minute just to use this time to educate you about yoga. It's a 5,000-year-old traditional art, science, philosophy that emphasizes a lifestyle of awareness, integrity, and compassion. When practiced regularly, it teaches one to explore and refine the subtle inner dimensions of existence, the mind, ego, intelligence, and consciousness. All aspects of one's life can be enhanced by a dedicated practice of yoga. Iyengar yoga encompasses a broad spectrum of postures and breathing techniques, including recuperative, therapeutic poses, holding static positions, and a kinetic component, linking the postures at a fast pace. Yoga and study also involves understanding the philosophy of yoga in order to deepen one's understanding of how the practice of yoga leads to the path of freedom. And it's fortunate that today there are scientific studies that go on. It's actually been studied in Eastern traditional sciences for over 5,000 years, and only since the 1920s has there actually been Western scientific studies carried out about the benefits of yoga, usually in relationship to disease. And I'm guilty of that. There's some research I've been involved with for chronic illness. But hopefully there's also going to be future research about yoga's beneficial effects just for normal, healthy living. And thank you once again for this award. And it's Pune, India. No, you said Pune. It was Pune, yeah. But you did say Ramamani correctly. That's amazing. Nobody else does. Okay, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.
Pune. Okay, now I know, and I'm more culturally aware. Today, I've increased my cultural competency. It's a lifelong process, right? It's a lifelong process. Next, we're going to be honoring a special woman with the YWCA Women in Leadership Award for Philanthropy. Ramona Sullivan is an attorney with Land of Lincoln Legal Assistance, the civil legal services provider for the 65 southern counties in Illinois. That's quite a territory. In addition to duties as a case handler, she supervises senior law students in clinics and externships and coordinates pro bono referrals to private attorneys in 15 counties in the Land of Lincoln service area. Previously, she was an associate attorney with Fruin & Cash in Paris, Illinois, that is, for 2 years, and a senior assistant public defender in Champaign County for 4 years. Sullivan is a 1993 graduate of the University of Illinois and obtained her JD from the University of Illinois College in 1996. Sullivan is president of the Edgar County Bar Association. She serves on the board of governors of the Champaign County Bar Association, chairs the mentoring committee of the East Central Illinois Women Attorneys Association, and serves on the pro bono committee of the Coles-Cumberland Bar Association. She is also the past chair of the Illinois State Bar Association's Committee on Delivery of Legal Services and serves on the ISBA Legal Education, Admission and Competence Committee. Sullivan also serves on the alumni board for the University of Illinois College of Law. And if that weren't enough, in her private time, she serves on the parish council at St. Matthew Catholic Church in Champaign. We're so honored to give this award to Ramona Sullivan. Ramona, please come forward and receive the YWCA Women in Leadership Award for Philanthropy.
Thank you very much. I was very surprised and honored and humbled that anyone nominated me for this and that I was selected for this. Everything that's listed in this short biography is sort of my job, so that can't be why I'm being honored. I do serve a rather huge service territory, and I am very involved with a lot of attorneys who help with doing volunteer work and take pro bono cases and help to meet the gigantic unmet legal need of people who need to have help in court in Illinois. But I assumed that if I knew what the nomination said, that it was really more about stuff that I'm doing that's not part of my job. I do a lot of volunteering. Is that what was? Okay. So I do a lot of things in the local schools. I put together educational programs for for young people in middle school and high school, and I have a blast, and the young people learn a lot, and I very often pull in lots of other volunteers that help me with these events, and they're so much fun, and I don't get paid for them. I give a ton of blood. I don't know if that made it. There's a lot of things that I do, and I guess I'll just sort of say why I do them. When I was pretty young, I figured out that by far the most meaningful, most rewarding moments of my life are moments when I'm doing something that enriches someone else's life. Whether that's me doing something for them, or me letting them do something for me, or me finding a way to connect people with each other who could give and need something given to them. That's why I do a lot of the things that I do, because I really get a lot out of it, and I think enriching the lives of other people is sort of the point. That's why we're here, and thank you very much.
And I just want to say that Ramona is the perfect example of what our 2013 philanthropy winner expressed as philanthropy is more than money.
Certainly our time, talents, and treasure are all philanthropy. Next, we're going to be honoring a special woman who is being given the Social Justice Award for the YWCA Women in Leadership. I actually met this person at a going away party for a mutual friend. It was my very first meeting of her, and it's an honor to be able to give her the award today. My first impressions of her were, wow, what a lovely and warm person, and I hope that I get to come across her again someday, and here I am giving her an award, and I feel, wow, that's really lucky. So Heather Alt is our award winner today, and she's an award-winning artist, a researcher, and an activist for abortion rights and reproductive justice. As founder of 4,000 Years of Choice, she created a dynamic visual art series devoted to re-envisioning the historical and cultural narrative of abortion and contraception. Since the project's initial launch in 2019, Heather has presented her artwork and research at art galleries, national conferences, university campuses, and reproductive health clinics across the country. We recently made a field trip with the YW and the YMCA to the Guerrilla Girls exhibit at the Krannert Art Museum. And I couldn't help but think of Heather's work as part of that. True activist art, art that has a real purpose behind it, but that is gorgeous in its own right. Her work has been written about in the Huffington Post, New York Daily News, Bust Magazine, and many other blogs. Heather is a board member of the Abortion Conversation Project and also serves as social media coordinator for the Abortion Care Network. She holds a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design and Master of Fine Arts in New Media and is based in Urbana, Illinois. Aren't we lucky? Locally in Champaign-Urbana, Heather has been able to exhibit, speak out, and advocate for reproductive justice. Heather, please come accept this award.
Oh, thank you for the nice introduction, and it's such an honor to receive an award from my local community. I came here for graduate school to study with a historian who did extensive research on abortion, Professor Leslie Regan, and of course it was a bit of a shock that this wasn't the mecca of reproductive justice here in the middle of the cornfields. But it's through a lot of friendships and supportive people that my work has been very successful. And I want to extend a special thank you to Rachel Storm, who nominated me for the award and has always just been a very generous friend and professional colleague, and has always kind of championed opportunities for me here. and that's just very, very meaningful. And I'd love to share more of my work with you by way of my website and also a Facebook page where I post a lot of images and graphics and stories about abortion and reproductive rights as a way to destigmatize and normalize and also celebrate something that's unfortunately very silenced in our country. And this is something that touches 1 in 3 women's lives. That's the number of women who have abortions. Obviously, men are very much a part of this conversation as well. And as an artist, this is the one thing I have more passion about than anything else, to kind of create a new story and to position abortion within the historical collective of women's consciousness. So I hope that you'll go to 4000yearsforchoice.com to learn more about my work. And again, it's just a real honor to be here with all of you and to also be inspired by all the amazing work happening in our community here. So thank you.
We have one more award to give out today. Today we're going to be honoring one of our trailblazers in the community. The YWCA is proud to present Bernadine Stake with the YWCA Women in Leadership Award Trailblazer Award. Bernadine Evans Stake was born on a farm near Lindy, Nebraska on April 29th in 1926, the daughter of Bert and Ida Haig Evans. She attended one-room Sunnyside School and then Bloomfield High School, taking a normal training course. And at 16, driving horse and buggy from home, she began teaching country school. World War II was on, and she and her earliest students rode the buggy to find milkweed for military parachutes. She taught country school for 4 years. In 1946, Bernadine worked at the Omaha Stockyards as a teletype machine operator. And in 1947, she worked for United Airlines passenger services at Midway Airport in Chicago. In 1948, she attended the University of South Dakota, and in 1949 transferred to the University of Nebraska, again in teacher education, and graduated in 1961. In 1951, she married Robert Stake, a newly commissioned naval officer, and they located in Chula Vista, California, where Bernadine taught first grade, a class of 36 children. Gradually, having 4 children of her own, Jeff, Ben, Sarah, and Jake, they lived at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and Elkton, Maryland, and Lincoln, Nebraska, before finally settling down in Urbana. They came to Urbana in 1936. And at the urging of Harry Tebow, thank you, because, again, the names. Bernadine became active in city politics and the work of the Democratic Party. She served on the Urbana City Council, publishing a McGovern agenda from 1968 to 1984. And she ran for mayor in 1981, trying to become Urbana's first woman mayor, but lost, unfortunately, to then incumbent Jeff Marklin, but only by 317 votes. When Laurel Pressing ran and became state representative, Bernadine worked on her campaigns and in her Champaign office. And Bernadine became Democrat committee person of the 10th Ward in Urbana and has rallied her precinct for over 40 years to gain the highest Democrat majorities in the Twin Cities. Appointed by Todd Satterthwaite, right? Yes. She continues to serve on the Urbana City Plan Commission to this day. And I know Todd, but I never know how to say his last name. I always just say Todd. On the city council, she played a strong, sometimes leading role in the effort to legislate open housing for African Americans. Neighborhood preservation and opposition to business development in residential zones, restrictions on smoking in public places, and the special walkway on South Race Street. When Sunnycrest and Marketplace bloomed and downtown commerce waned, Montgomery Ward, A&P, Dean's Hardware, Joomer's, Huey's, the Courier newspaper, Cinema Theater. Bernadine promoted business development in the Central Triangle, Carl to Lincoln Square to 5 Points. Bernadine, hand in hand with many of the community, particularly Frida Washer, Amy Cumero, Leon McCullough, and Esther Pack, resulting in many letters to the editor of the News Gazette with advocacies including peace and freedom, civil rights, women's rights, gay and lesbian rights, renters' rights, the environment, recycling services, and restraint on corporate funding of elections. As to educational research, Bernadine worked with U of I professors Lillian Katz and Jack Easley, receiving her master's in education in 1970 and her doctorate in education in 1980, writing a dissertation on children's counting behavior. Her subsequent research included videotaping of children problem solving in Kankakee, arts education and evaluating for the Educational Testing Service, and Plato computerized teaching of elementary mathematics. Quite the cutting edge. In 1980 to 83, she directed the evaluation of the National Sex Equity Demonstration Project based in Broward County, Florida, following particularly efforts to get teachers to pay as much attention to girls as to boys. For several years, Bernadine taught science education to elementary teachers at the University of Illinois and supervised teaching fieldwork for Eastern Illinois University. She served on the Equal Rights Committee of the American Educational Evaluation Association, and 3 full-time jobs for Bernadine's load were education, politics, and family. We're so lucky to be able to give this award to Bernadine. Please come forward to accept your award. Say a few words. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. I've been very lucky. Living in a community of great people, working 50 years here in company with great women, and I'm surprised to be singled out for this Trailblazer Award. What I have done has been or will be surpassed by many in this audience. As Esther Patton, Leon McCullough know, there are always trails to blaze. I want to thank Leisha Banks, the YWCA, and all who made this award possible and brought us together for this special lunch. I'm honored. And just thinking about it, I live again those early times, the hard times and the good times. We've had the forces of energy about us, beyond water, wind, and corn and coal, the energy of the community to drive us on. The YMCA has been a long time GPS. Oh, wait, sorry. YWCA. Very sorry.
You're in good company.
The YWCA has been a long time with the GPS to help guide and direct our energies. 80 years ago, there was a Great Depression, and in the Midwest, a time of drought. My father could not make the mortgage payments on our beautiful Nebraska farm. The payment was only a few dollars, but his credit was exhausted. So for the last time, with my 2 brothers and 2 sisters in our Model A Ford, my dad and my mom drove us away from the house in which I was born. I heard my mother say, "Don't look back, Bert. We've got our kids." We do what we do for our kids. Yes, we have our personal ambitions and we help our friends and strangers in need, but for most of us, the ultimate goal of life is to give health, happiness, and opportunity to our children. I came from my family to Champaign-Urbana a few months, 50 years ago. Our youngest was born at Carl. One of the first person I met was Jenny Harvey, as pregnant as I, and as driven to the arts as I. But when I put them all together, oh, wait a minute. I have to have mine written down. I can't all say it. And sometimes I think of her kids, Jenny's kids, as my kids. And sometimes I think of all your kids as my kids, because I love the kids and enjoy playing with them and taking care of them. As mentioned in the introduction, I have struggled with many civic problems, deadbolt locks for rental apartments and smoke-free restaurants, and a human rights office in Urbana. Many of these problems seem more oriented to the good life than to the child life. But when I put them all together, I find it easy to think that we have moved ahead because we've got our kids. And Bob said, my husband, when we moved here, things are bigger here than we are used to. But he said, but don't worry, we'll only stay a couple of years. Well, what turned out to be bigger is the love, the energy, and the compassion you all have shared. And I thank you all for a great 50 years in Urbana. I thank you all.
Well, as I look around the room, I see several people that have said, we're only going to be here for a few years. I think that that's a special thing about our community, though. Once you've been here for a few years, you want to stay, because it really is a special place. And we are filled with special people like Bernadine, which really is wonderful. So, onward with the program. We have honored so many wonderful women. We've talked about their many amazing accomplishments. But next, we want to make sure that we give pause and recognize a special woman who just escaped the room. Well, no, she's here. She's here. No. Looking for your other glasses. Leisha Banks has been the Leisha Banks has been the executive director of the YWCA for over 11 years, and she has poured love into this organization, organizing capstone programs like Leadership Luncheon, Race Against Racism, Women in Leadership, the 100th anniversary of the International Women's Day celebration, Racism 101 shops, Ecofeminism Summit, Hot Topics Dialogue Series, and she's established the YWCA in the community as a force for anti-racist feminist work. We are so lucky to have had Leisha Banks as a leader for the last several years. She's tirelessly committed to improving the lives of women and people of color. And our time with Leisha may be coming to a close. In fact, I know it's coming to a close because she said, "This is it. I'm retiring. You're going to have to find somebody else to take over the helm." So we want to say a special thanks. Leisha, you come up here. She's just doing work. See how hard she works? She doesn't even know I'm talking about her. It's just a small token. We want to publicly thank Leisha.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm just kind of speechless, and I'm also blind also, because I don't have my reading glasses. So I'm going to have to try to wing this. But it's pretty big, so maybe I can get through it, huh? So if I sound a little crazy, just, humor me. Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all very much for your support all these years. It's been a blast here at the YWCA, and I have just met so many wonderful people, so many wonderful young women that have come through the YWCA, and as Bernadine said, I know it's going to be all right. They're going to go on, and they're going to do great things, and it's going to be all right. We're going to keep moving forward. So I really, it's been wonderful, and I just want to say again, thank you. I'm just a little overwhelmed. I thought I was going to get up here, read my little spiel, and then we were all going to go home. Yeah. Yes, but thank you again for coming out to support the wonderful women that have received awards today. Every year, we just have an amazing group of women every year, and it just is so encouraging. It's so wonderful to meet new people, to meet all the awardees, to see what they're doing. So many people are doing such great things. So it's always a good thing to be able to recognize them and that we appreciate what they do. So I'm going to wrap this up. This was great. I was going to talk about my favorite song and all that kind of stuff, and I can't read a thing.
I'm going to borrow mine.
Let me see.
She won't be able to see all those.
Oh, yes, I can. Actually, I can. Okay, so this is what I was going to say.
They look good on you.
Oh, thank you. As many of you know, this will be my last leadership luncheon as executive director of the YWCA. I will be retiring in July, and it has been an interesting 11 years, full of highs and lows, accomplishments and disappointments, and now it's time for new leadership at the YWCA. The lyrics of one of my favorite songs from the 60s, which was taken from the Bible, says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." See, I'm going to cry. The end of my season at the YWCA is near, but I'm not sad, even though I'm going to cry, because I know that the work of the YWCA will continue. Just as our awardees' lives demonstrate and the YWCA's mission states, women will continue to empower themselves, work to eliminate racism, and promote peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for coming out today. That concludes our day's festivities. We're so thankful that you've come out to celebrate with us. And I have one shameless plug to make at the end. On the tables, you see some flyers for an event that the YMCA is hosting this weekend that many of you may enjoy. Amasong will be singing, and we'll have storyteller Dan Keating, and there'll be food from Piatto. Tickets are only $20 in advance, $25 online, so we hope that you'll attend. And if you don't, we'll see you here next year. Thanks so much for coming.